Let's dive right into our project. Now, these are the dies that I'm using are from the collection called the Layered Fleur Bouquet Slimlines. And this is one of their new release. So I've taken care, as always, with all of my die cutting. And there's two sets that I'm using, the Layered Lilies and the Half Slimline Bracket. Now, you can use both of the brackets if you wanted to, and I'll show you that once we get there. So here, let's focus on our lilies. I'm using some mustard seed, wild honey, and for the green, I'm going to be using forest moss. These are very simple to layer if you like layering dies. So I took the main, I added a little bit of the mustard seed with the wild honey. I'm adding that stamen that comes out of the center, and I die cut that with yellow cardstock. And then you have these two more layers. So there's two sizes to the lilies. So each one will have this large wavy curve that'll come down from the bottom and up the side, and then this small one, and that's where that petal just coils out a little bit. So it's absolutely gorgeous. The video just doesn't do justice many times to the projects. So I'm just going to continue to put those together. I also then die cut the leaves, and I used a dark, somewhat of a dark green cardstock for them. And I wanted to make them even darker. I didn't want to keep the leaves light when it came to these images. And I just dropped something. Oh my goodness. There we go. So our lilies are done now. And for the vines and the leaves, you get this beautiful swirl design. And I die cut 3 of those, and then just many of the leaves. And I'm just using a detailed brush just on the bottom of each of the leaves. I don't want to go up around them. I just want to hit the base to make it look like these leaves are folded in towards the bottom. I'm also going to add some of this green to the swirl. Just in general places, I'm not making sure that it's gradient. I want it to have a blotchy look, not a solid look, actually. So I'm just running down those spirals. For my sentiment, the lilies do come with a sentiment, and it says, "I pick you." So I thought that was really, really cute. But I'm actually going to place it on the inside of my slimline. Now this slimline measures 4 by 9, and I'm going to put that on the inside. So I have my slimline in gray, like a mid-tone gray, and then I die cut my sentiment from a darker charcoal gray. I've only cut one of the brackets. So I cut this bracket, the flourish piece, out of ivory cardstock, and I'm going to put that over the same color cardstock that my card base is, and it lines up just perfectly. And it's one of those dies that you have the outline, and then you can put that flourish in there, so you get the best of both worlds. I have a piece of vellum here that's cut 4 to 9, but I will be trimming this down. I'm going to use some double-sided tape to put this bracket on top of the vellum. Now, the beauty of it is we're not going to see this tape, so I'm not worried about it. I just want to make sure that there is a lot of the double-sided tape there. Now, you could also use liquid adhesive. That's fine. Because this is the only side that the front of the card is going to be hinged on or connected to. So I'm lining the bottom and the side up with that bracket, and I'm going to come in with my shears, and I'm going to cut right up along that piece. Keeping the shears along that edge helps keep them straight. I'm going to come back in with the double-sided tape again so that I can get this on my card base. Now, this is actually just a little bit shorter in length than my card base, and I was okay with that. It kind of creates its own frame. So I make sure that's centered along the edge and make sure that's well stuck. Technical term. So you can see, you can put your hand up underneath that vellum, but it is very secured on your card. I'm now just playing with the placement of the vines and the lilies. So I'm going to trim some once I have them in place. Then once I have the bottom glued down, then I'm going to bend that up and put dots of glue along that, because I don't want to lose the position of these pieces. So you can see I have it tacked there. Now I'm going to come in with some glue along that, make sure that's in place, and then I'm going to reverse the last one. So we've got 2 swirls up on top, and then I've got another swirl coming down on the bottom. So I'm going to place my glue down on the bottom first, and then once again, just bend that back just a little bit just to add some glue there. Again, not wanting to lose the position of that. The larger lily is going to go on top, and then I'm just going to line it up along that curve of the vine. I am going to use some double-sided foam squares. Now, these double-sided foam squares are not as thick as normal, so they're like half the thickness. I think they're like 3s. I forget what the size they are. But they just add just a little bit of the dimension. And then I'm going to place the final 2. Again, creating that triangle. I know some don't like the whole rule of thirds, but it's also the rule when it comes to a triangle. When we put our pieces on our card fronts, most of the time naturally put it in a triangle shape, because then the eye will see everything. The eye will actually glance over that card. So just making sure where I want to put that, I'm going to add the double-sided foam squares on the last one as well, and then place that right there. Now you can see the vine coming in behind it, but that's okay. We're going to tuck a leaf right in there. What's great is with the leaves, you get to die cut 4 at once, and they have a notched edge. It's cut on an angle so that you can just lean it right up against this vine. You don't have to lift the vine or anything like that. I'm putting 1 layer down first for my leaves, and then I'm going to come in with the smaller one and actually create some layers on 3 of these leaf sets. Again, just to fill it up. And again, I'm only putting glue on the bottom of the leaf. So you can see those differences in the shadows as well. I had a few leaves left, so I put my sentiment in the center. I'm going to add some leaves to the center. I very rarely add anything to the inside of my card, but I just thought this kind of looked pretty cool. And then when we look at the final card, you can see I added some Trinity Silver satin pearls in the flourish design, and also coming off of the lilies. So I hope you enjoyed today's project featuring the Spellbinders Layered Fleur Bouquet Slimline release. As always, all the products that I used will be linked down below. And if you want to check them out, please feel free to do that. They are affiliate links, just as my note down there says. If you have any questions, make sure you leave those down below as well, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. If you haven't yet, I'd love for you to subscribe, become part of my group here. Make sure you hit the thumbs up, because you never know. If you like this, maybe somebody else does. You just never know. But I do appreciate all of my subscribers. I appreciate those that take the time out of their day to watch my videos. So a very special thank you to each and every one of you. I truly and greatly appreciate it. Remember, enjoy this process. You create art, and it's beautiful. But always remember what's most important. Always be creative, and I'll talk to you in the next video.